Live on YouTube again, man. Yo, listen, man. Y'all gonna have to really acknowledge you and me and hear what I'm saying. You know, sorry. Hey, listen. Let me just tell y'all this, man. Listen to this, man. Imagine a star being, right, doing certain humane condition science. Now, I hope some people, you know how they try to get rid of star beings. Now, I'm gonna tell girls what not to do for their humane condition so they won't get rid of star beings. And the star beings here, they're really fancy, fancy, fancy. Now, let me tell you something. Now, I'm just letting you know if your dad speaking to you, certain individuals is hearing you and me. Well, all y'all individuals, because there's nothing new under the sun. Even though y'all may grew up, some of y'all may grew up in other houses. You know, you might be reconditioned through other individuals in time because they might not want to lose nothing. And then on top of it, I was recovering. I shouldn't be losing so much energy a certain type of way, saving certain individuals' lives. Certain individuals been around, and you know, other situations happen through time, but I'm still alive, and I'm just let you know right here. Your real dad is still alive. Nothing new under the sun. Still on me. The families that's hearing me, I'm gonna let you know from right now and stuff. You know, all my kids, you know, all y'all light skin, all y'all light skin, all y'all gonna always be my children, and it's always gonna be the same. That's all I'm gonna say. No matter what the situation is. So I'm just gonna be real with you, right? Now I'm just gonna say this how real I am even in the paradigm of time, but I'm gonna just say like this. You know how some people be trying to get rid of star beams. I'm gonna tell you what not to do, what not to influence, and to watch this type of influence if it happens in the physical reality, especially when it comes to dogmata science, dealing with democracy, or you know, I believe in high class, middle class, and lower class. But since I'm hearing you have a democracy, I don't know nothing about that. I know about lower class, but I'm gonna just tell you about this. When the people doing demonic science or yeah, another person may look at it as another form in a certain type of way, but they don't know their vocabulary because they're going to have call it demonic science. You know, when a person is dealing in consciousness about a certain type of situation in their human condition and they're being precise with their situation, they could look at it another type of way. But I'm going to just say like this. If you have an individual at a time that is doing some dogmata science and then say they're a star being and they come on the planet, then you have the children or the younger generation of people telling them, oh, you do bestiality, sex her while you're in some bestiality mode. If that happens, you know, I don't gotta tell the other star beings, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry about that type of situation. That type of influence is not something that normally happens. You know, you know, I'm very, I'm wonderful in my etiquette. You know, I know something like that is not certain things that normally happen. So sometimes, you know, things could be a little different. Sometimes, you know, people be outside their character sometimes, and you know, people don't have to worry about things like that. Some people don't have to worry about that type of influence because you know people don't do that for a long time, and people that do things like that sometimes when things happen, they already did it to themselves because another person they don't realize. Some of them may not realize the physical reality at the time when they're being corrected because another person got to be considerate to their higher conscience. So if they're not considerate to their higher conscience, and a person that doesn't honor the reason of their dignity should, it is what it is. If a person's around and you see something like that. I just look at it like that. I don't really get into it too much. That's all I can say. But I'm just gonna be real. If you see somebody doing something like that, that means that's somebody that comes from a higher level. They could be a certain type of way, a certain way, but because they want to be, I'm not even gonna say if they want to be a certain type of way. You already see what the type of situation is, a certain type of way, right? So I look at individuals at a time and I say, yo, man, I really care. I already care about my life. My life is wonderful. I'm a person that's always high in enlightenment. Either way, I'm already enlightened in itself, but you got to find out what I'm speaking about. But another person, sometimes, they might be a little different when it comes to the physical reality. So you don't say nothing to an individual a certain type of way. So, it's just like, sorry to hear that, man. Some people just, you know, you, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you do see people that have that type of influence and they happen to come to the earth or your planet, they come in the house and they start doing stupid things, you know, you gotta usually they try to ignore the situation. Don't get caught up in the situation if you're a feminine being or a feminine gender. Don't get caught up in that situation like that because especially if you're a lady, you don't really want to get caught up in that situation because if you have somebody that's doing like a dogmata science and they decide to do bestiality and they want to have sex and then on top of it, and don't care and stuff to show you that you gotta honor the reason of your human condition and they've just been waiting for a point to show you how real individuals are just to make you laugh or do something and then fucked up your life and then individuals of higher conscience, when they gather, you see, like me, I do martial arts, but when individuals of higher conscience gather at times, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I think I should have a happy life. I educate people. I try to keep myself cleansing, clean, and on top of it, my harmony is wonderful. But if you have an individual in the physical reality that feels like they want to do bestiality and all type of funny zodiac, all type of funny type situations, because they want to show you how real this situation is at the time, I tell the individual, listen, man, that type of aggravation in my life, I don't need that type of aggravation in my life. And I don't need a person trying to find out what's going on. How did that happen? I don't need nobody pointing fingers and saying this guy's kind of outrageous. He's on some, I already write sci-fi books. I write novels. I make movie scripts. I like little things, but I do it in my privacy. I don't put it on YouTube. I actually do it in my privacy when a person's not looking, and I make my own little, I make my own little notes about my situation certain ways. So I usually do these things to keep myself uplifting, all right, happy, wonderful, enriching, and wealthing when it comes to the human condition and consciousness for my natural atmosphere of my own habitation at the time. But if you have somebody that just wants to do some bestiality in all type of situations and they thinking that's okay, no, it's not okay. Some people could do certain things, but they have to know how to be appropriate when it comes to situations. But if you have people that just is full blown savage and they just want to be in excitement, like they just don't care at the time, like I'm a person when I see the higher conscious, even like when I look at the stars, it's like I say words of praise when I'm a man of higher conscience that even acknowledges a point of altitude in a set of the humane condition of the atmosphere. But when it's in the high condition of the atmosphere, I'm a man that acknowledges and gives a word of thanks. But if I see a person being of the humane condition of the atmosphere, of the higher conscience, a certain type of way, or life, a certain type of way, I give a word of praise because the reason of the situation is just different the way I view situations, even at a time. You know, I'm just gonna say like this. An individual in life, if they want to do something out of their character, and then they go do some bestiality or something like that, that's an individual that is not caring for one's reason of honor or dignity at a time. Those are the type of individuals that should be hindered at a time. It, I just be real. It's just I'm a man. I honor myself. I know how to regard myself, but other individuals gotta be disciplined a certain type of way at a time. You know, I'm gonna just say those are things that you don't want to influence in the physical reality when people are doing bestiality. You don't influence that type of physical reality, and if you know people secretly that does bestiality, then if you have a person that's if you ever of a high of enlightenment or high intellectual, you should let it be known what's the situation before you endanger your own human condition and other people's secure. How can I say safety at the time before situations go further and other individuals end up in similar situations in the physical reality. So, one should really, be thoughtful and regard their situation when it comes to the physical reality, especially when it comes to individuals, doing certain things. Because one one can't really want to indulge and do certain things a certain type of way. So I'm just gonna be real with you. Another person's wondering what happened, why you itching a certain type of way. Well, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm in a place. There's a natural current and conduct. There's a carpet, and I had some popcorn that had fell on the floor, and I had picked it up because I was watching a movie, and then for some reason, I secured it the way it was. It wasn't supposed to fall, but for some reason there wasn't no wind in the room or nothing. But it just dropped, and it was leveled out on a good foundation, but it dropped. So I would just continue watching my movie. I paused it, picked up the popcorn, and I'm a man of refinement, a natural refiner. A man of refinement. Listen. I refine, regard, and intensify all white anatomy. When I say refine, meaning to heal, I don't injure white anatomy to heal it. If it's already in a traumatic situation and it comes to a place to be secured and healed, I could heal it naturally a certain type of way from my environment or my atmosphere if I choose. Only, only when I say I choose, only if I choose to regard the situation or to even partake and make a decision to partake in the situation a certain type of way because I regard myself. But I'm just gonna be real. I'm a person that heals naturally, even the natural anatomy of white matter, of cellular activity, even celestial activity, because you have people of high intellect that are celestial beings that only have all celestial beings only have cellular activity, or celestial beings only have cellular activity. I'm the only man on this planet, or any planet, that lowest form of activity I make is celestial, and we're on a celestial Earth. So I'm just letting it be known right now. And I'm just gonna be real with you. I make beyond highest quantum activity. I make beyond highest quantum and beyond quantum of all activity, mega, super, astrological, celestial. This is why I really regard myself in the human condition and the physical reality. And even what I just said, I'm the only one that makes all of it. And even what I just spoke about, only makes cellular activity. I know this for a fact. Now, I'm just gonna be real with you. I love my children, so I need them to be precise when it comes to their human condition because they don't got time to be making a certain type of cellular structure, and then next thing you know, being all over the place trying to figure out their situation, and then they end up exhausted, and then there's no reason for the regardment of the atmosphere. You see, naturally, when I view situations, I'm already ahead of myself. The atmosphere is already a paradigm. I made the paradigm and I put it in my empress. So you can't speak to me about certain things. And not even my children are starved beings. At a regardment, at a love for their own, the love that I have, the reason of me, of my remembrance and my memory for the refinement and regardment of who I am and the reason for their own dignity of how much I love myself, I have a continuance of my human condition. I love them so much that I even regarded my human condition a certain type of way. I love myself even more that I even said, you know something, I'm gonna always have my human condition of the continuance of my love a certain type of way. So if something happens, I never lose out. And the reason of my responsibility to make sure that I always have my love. So, I don't even worry about certain things. This is how real I am in life. Now I'm the real Osiris, the real Ra, the real Orion, or real Orion. Literally. But I'm having situations with certain honors of majesty and imperial, imperial, and royal that's trying to influence imperial, imperial, and individuals of maje- in a manai and majestic and the hierarchy and hierarchies of existence. So, it's a difference in reality because once you see individuals doing something, the social economic of education is very serious when it comes to the humane condition and when it comes to one's social structure. Social also meaning solar. When it comes to one's social structure and one's attributes of honor and one's placement of conduct even at times. Because another person has to be responsible for an individual a certain type of way, and if something happens, there's no excuse because another individual is not gonna take certain, how can I say this, irresponsibility that causes a natural irritation in life that causes an individual to be negligent or ignorant that causes traumatic experiences and other excuses that lead up to other frivolous conduct in the physical reality. So individuals, when it comes to humane conditions and one's natural habitation, one has to care about one's natural sanctuary of one's conscience. So I'm gonna just tell you just like this. So if you have individuals in life that, look at situations a little different from other people and then want to indulge in how can I say it, negligent reality, there there is no further education for that. So one doesn't have to be subtle or cause a natural su- uh, how can I say this, friction uh, of one's endeavors. So, I'm just gonna be real, I rather individuals be responsible, of the high reason of one enrichment of one's intellect for one's natural regardment. I'm not gonna tell an individual to be, how can I say this, or and not care about their humane condition. You have to care about your humane condition depending on how one reflects on the physical reality even at the time. But it's a difference for individuals even at the time. But I'll be real for individuals. I'll say like this. If you know somebody that is causing traumatic events that, this doesn't really care about life and their mind's going to a real depth of dark consciousness, then that's an individual that, one should be a person of upliftment in consciousness when it comes to one's character. I- If not, if it's the reasons because of what somebody has misconduct or something, then I'm gonna just tell an individual sometimes disciplinary actions are looked upon a little different than a mentality of dark consciousness, depending on what what the cause of the attribute that caused the natural negligence and the correction even at the time for the whatever disciplinary actions. But I'm just gonna be real, if you do hear of people, you know, getting into bestiality and laughing about it and thinking it is funny, you know, try to be uplifting and conscious about the situation. Try to, I don't know. Some people might keep it sacred because some people might do something, probably something to make money or something. Probably a person makes a little film, just probably to show people a certain form of science or what happens a certain type of way and what is the outcome of the situation or the ways one views at it. You know, the, depending on one's settlement, even in reality, even as one goes on one's journey or the way they view their viewpoint at the time. But I'm just gonna be real, I look at the situation as you know up up appropriate and upright conduct is everything in life. So this when I say upright, it needs to not be said appropriate, but I'll just tell you straight up, it is upright. But if you want to appropriate, is always to be wonderful in life when one is regarding themselves and of one's keen sense, you know. So I'm just gonna be real, man. Have a wonderful life. Don't indulge in stupidity that makes individuals, you know, forsake individuals a certain type of way when it comes to the natural habitation. So I'm gonna be real. But that's all that needs to be said and stuff. Education is everything. Etiquette. Actually, I'm not gonna say etiquette. Um, I'm gonna say equality uh, of one's. How would I want to put this to you? Of one's foundation is everything, but I could really say of one's elegance. It's just I'm a person. I I'm I'm a timid person, but I'm a person in privacy. I rather have I'm an upright person, so I rather have uh, a wonderful communication between me and another individual of times of upliftment of value of one's conscience. So this is what I'm gonna say, but when I say one's value of one's consideration for the reason of dignity and and of one's natural caring of the real viewpoints of existence and the wonderful journeys that further the future. You know, that's all I can say. But depending on how one looks at life to conduct their own situation. So, but have a wonderful afternoon. There's other things that I want to speak about a certain type of way. Sometimes when I send my, I'm the real ice drometer. I'm the real drometer and stuff. So when I send my children other places and stuff to, or they visit other people, I don't never like them being at a place or endangering their life because another individual's endeavors at a time. So I really think about the quality of life and the reasons of one's etiquette. If one has comfort, one never endangers one's natural sanctuary of uh, of one's natural atmosphere for the different conduct, even in the even in a time of reflection, even as one has for the next day of their education. So I'm just gonna tell individuals, really think about certain things in life. Please, try to stay away from the drugs. Drugs are really meant for people of the medical field, and other things in life is more interesting when you could build a natural, loving reality of one's natural reasons of honor for how can I say this, for one's intellect for tribute, because when one honors one's consciousness or reason of one's intellect, one never misses out even when it comes to value. Think about what I'm saying. So, never try to be ahead of yourself, and never try to disrespect your consciousness ahead of time and the reason of, of the future conduct. Love one.